Hello. Salam. Hello. Okay, they're gonna watch me for the next 20 minutes while I cook. Salam. Okay, he just wanted to ask me where his cows were. But still, man, I mean, I feel like I've never actually been alone this entire trip. I thought I came far enough off the main road to have a nice quiet lunch by myself, and this is like the third guy that's come over to talk to me, strictly in Tajik. Yeah, again, not getting any time to myself. Alright, he only lingered for like 10 minutes. The thing is, this was really fun and interesting for maybe the first few weeks, but man, I'm on month 4 and the conversations have not changed. They're asking the same thing over and over again. And if they do happen to ask you a question you haven't heard before, you're most likely not going to be able to understand it, and then they just ask you louder and louder, and they repeat the same thing over and over, and it's like, shoot, man. And I'm polite and I say hello and I ask them their name too, but there's only so much you can do without like just losing your mind. Every now and then I'll meet a local who can speak some English, and that's kind of fun. Sometimes we can talk to each other, but when they just come, they ask you where you're going, how much your bike costs, and then they just sit there and stare at you for 10 minutes. I mean, no one likes that, man. Oh, the best is when somebody says salam, and then they sit down right next to you, and then they just yell on the phone at somebody for like 10 or 15 minutes while you're just sitting there trying to eat your food. Yeah, that's a good one. That's always a good cultural experience. So I know a lot of you might be thinking like, hey Mikey, that's pretty insensitive. And man, if I were watching this video at the beginning of my trip, I would probably think like, damn, what an asshole. I mean, these people live in these small villages in these remote areas, and they barely even have a reliable internet connection. Like, you passing through is literally their only window into the outside world. And you're getting PO'd because people want to ask you where you're from, where you're going, and what your name is. And then, you know, watch you do things for 10-15 minutes. But I gotta tell you, after the 4th month and after your 7th consecutive 100-degree plus day, your tolerance and your patience really do start to weather. I'm not saying I'm not polite to all these people, I am, but I'll answer their questions, but then I'll just turn and look off into space to kind of signal, hey man, I just want to zone out. I think a lot of people do get the idea, but it still sometimes takes quite a while. Finally broke my first spoke. That was a pretty good run. I mean, all through Europe and all the gnarly roads on this trip here 2 years later, and all the training preceding that as well. Haven't broken a spoke. Specialized, man. I was resting under this mulberry tree for maybe a little too long. I had second lunch here as well. About to leave, and I realized I have all this mulberry goo stuck inside my cleats. Really don't want it to gunk up my pedals, but eesh. Oh my god, it's like cement. I think this kind of thing's interesting. So this is a confluence of 2 rivers. This river is coming through Tajikistan, and this river is coming in from Afghanistan. The Afghanistan water is a lot cleaner, and the Tajikistan water is just grimy. I know there's a lot of mining here in Tajikistan, and they just dump all the shit in the water, so that might just be what this is. God, look at all these rectangular like farming plots throughout here. Can you imagine like farming in the hot Afghanistan sun at a 45-degree angle with like hand tools? So just rode past a pretty big town over there. I had to come all the way out here though just to find some peace so I can eat. But I had plenty of kids coming by, handing me business cards for their parents' homestays. Homestay? I'm sorry, I'm not staying here.
Homestay this.
And I'm like, sorry, I can't. Like, I don't have a lot of money. And he's like, please, sir, it's only $8. It sucks too, because like if I would have budgeted better, I probably would have taken him up on the offer. But I mean, since my daily allowance now is $2, I literally can't afford it. I would love to help him out here. I wish I would have budgeted better just so I could have spent more money where it was more needed. I mean, my birthday is coming up. I'm hoping maybe my grandma sends me like $100 or something, because at this rate, like, yeah, I'm gonna be camping for the next month and a half and having to turn down all these like poor kids that just need to help their families.
ايش خبيها كان كردي خلها
Magic sounds great, yeah. Thank you.
Very good.
Very good, yeah.
Нет, я туда.
Oh, я американец.
Американ?
Да.
А по-русски лучше скажи, все знают по-русски.
Я знаю немного.
Нормально, все.
So I was just riding along and I stopped for another snack break, and after I finished my granola bar, I just sat there and all my energy is just drained. I mean, like, my legs still got some power in them. I could still get to where I really wanted to go camp, but I just completely lost all motivation. My camp spot this morning was only 30 kilometers away as the crow flies. But via the roads, I mean, it's been 60 something kilometers, because they're just going along the river the whole time, and I am tired. I mean, you've seen what the roads look like, and it's just constant up and down. There's no flat, and yeah, it's constant bumps, so you never have any momentum. And even downhill, you're having to crawl, because if you don't, you're gonna screw up your bike. But yeah, I don't know, I just camp on this place here. There's some cool ruins here that I've noticed. There's 3 of them so far. I haven't found any petroglyphs, and I heard that there are petroglyphs around this area of Tajikistan, so I'm still keeping an eye out for those. But if they're gonna be somewhere, they might be here. I don't really know what the other campsite was gonna look like. This is a pretty nice campsite. I mean, it's nice and flat. It's right off the road, which I don't like, but I might be able to camp behind those rocks there. So other than that, it's a nice view. And then the rocks here will block the sun a little bit in the morning, which I don't really need, because I want to hit the road at 5 o'clock again. I didn't wake up this morning until like 6, so I'm on day 6 right now without like sleeping in a shelter or really having a layover day or anything. Just pooping outside and cycling, you know, just 6 days straight. So I don't like need a shelter necessarily. I just need a layover day. I just need to relax for a day. But you can't really do that here because it's just so hot, you know. You just have to just keep moving. I think at this rate I'll be at the capital of the Pamirs here in like 4 days. And I've figured out my budget, and I'll be able to spend like 2 days in the capital in like a hostel or guest house if it's $6 or $7. And then I'm just gonna mosey on over to Kyrgyzstan. There's a route I really was thinking of doing, the Wakhan Valley. It would take an extra few days out of my trip, but I heard the road's just even worse. And if it's like more of what I'm already seeing here, I don't really need to go through there. I mean, this already looks strikingly similar to the Grand Canyon, to Arizona, to Sedona. You know, it's, don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. It's beautiful, but I don't need to go an extra like few days out of my way, especially when I'm on a super tight budget, just to see more of what I'm accustomed to seeing at home. I would really like to get up to Kyrgyzstan, where they have more forests and lakes and things like that. And I'm tired of being hot, man. The Wakhan Valley is just as hot as it is here. But if I stick to the Pamir Highway, because I was on detours this whole time. If I stick to the Pamir Highway, I'll be in a much higher elevation, much cooler. Morale will be a lot higher. I noticed I just get super grumpy in the middle of the day with this heat, man. So, yeah, I just stopped feeling it, honestly. I think I'm just gonna set up camp, call it a day, get to bed a little early. So I really just improvise with every meal that I make out here. I bought an onion today, so I sauteed the onion with some peanuts and then poured some water in and then cooked some buckwheat and pasta with it to make a kind of soup. I'm gonna have some bread to go with it too. I think it's all right. It tastes pretty good. I got a bunch of these different seasoning packets to like keep my life interesting. The thing with this though is I accidentally bought gluten-free noodles, which is not something I thought I would accidentally do in Central Asia. They're fine. They're mushy. But yeah, pretty healthy, I think. There's my tent, by the way. My tent. 4 days after I made that stew, and I gotta tell you, it's been pretty miserable.
It's first day from Williams. Hey, without glass.
Oh,
it's not nice, huh? Okay. Alex?
This is one downside of traveling by yourself. You really feel like you're the only one within your struggle. Every now and then I will meet fellow cyclists and we can kind of bond over these hardships. But right now, man, all I got to talk to is the camera.